me.
Let's play a game.
Somebody's gonna kill me tonight. There's a darkness inside of me.
I want my body back.
Come and get it.
Hello, movie lovers. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're counting down the top 10 slasher movies, films so chilling that even the bravest horror fans won't sleep with the lights off. In the world of horror, few monsters are as terrifying as the slasher, silent, merciless, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Over the last 2 decades, Hollywood has given us killers that haunt our nightmares, stories that make us double-check the locks, and brutal scenes we can never unsee. So without any further delay, lock your doors, keep the lights on, and whatever you do, don't look behind you. At number 10, Scream 6. The horror moves from Woodsboro to New York City in this bloodier, bolder entry. Survivors from the previous film try to start fresh, but Ghostface follows them into the city's crowded streets and dark corners. With inventive kills, subway chases, and shocking reveals, this movie proves the series still has life left decades later. While honoring the franchise's meta roots, Scream 6 ups the stakes with brutal violence and a faster pace, making Ghostface more terrifying than ever. At number 9, The Strangers. Loosely inspired by true crimes, The Strangers is a chilling home invasion slasher. A young couple, Kristen and James, are terrorized in their remote vacation home by 3 masked intruders. What makes it especially terrifying is the randomness of the attack. The killers have no motive other than because you were home. The film thrives on tension, with long silences, sudden scares, and a growing sense of hopelessness. Its realism and unpredictability make it one of the scariest slashers of modern times. At number 8, Freaky. This horror comedy puts a slasher twist on the classic body swap story. A teenage girl, Millie, accidentally switches bodies with a serial killer known as the Blissfield Butcher, played hilariously by Vince Vaughn. Now, she has only 24 hours to reverse the swap before the change becomes permanent. While Millie struggles to act like a terrifying adult man, the Butcher wreaks havoc in her teenage body. Freaky is gory, funny, and showing how slashers can be both terrifying and entertaining when turned on their head. At number 7, Happy Death Day. What if Groundhog Day met a slasher film? That's the premise of Happy Death Day. Tree Geldman, a self-absorbed college student, is murdered on her birthday by a masked killer, only to wake up and relive the same day again. To escape the time loop, Tree must solve her own murder, growing as a person while battling the endless cycle of death. With each reset, the kills become more inventive and the suspense more intense. This movie stands out as one of the most creative slashers of the 2010. At number 6, Scream. With a fresh chapter, this movie brings Ghostface back to Woodsboro after 25 years. A new generation of teenagers finds themselves targeted, but they're not alone. Original survivors like Sidney Prescott, Gale Weathers, and Dewey Riley return to face the killer once again. The film is meta and self-aware, poking fun at requels and modern horror tropes while still delivering gruesome kills and shocking twists. It's both a tribute to Wes Craven's legacy and a brutal modernization of slasher storytelling. At number 5, Halloween. This sequel ignores decades of confusing timelines and serves as a direct continuation of the original 1978 Halloween. 40 years later, Laurie Strode is no longer a helpless babysitter. She's a hardened survivor, scarred by trauma, who has spent her life preparing for Michael Myers' return. When Michael escapes custody during a prison transfer, he returns to Haddonfield for another night of terror. Laurie, her daughter, and granddaughter must band together to stop him once and for all. With brutal kills, suspenseful sequences, and Jamie Lee Curtis back in top form, this film proved that Michael Myers is as terrifying as ever. At number 4, X. A gritty, throwback slasher set in 1979. This movie follows a group of aspiring filmmakers who rent a Texas farmhouse to shoot an adult movie. But the elderly couple who own the property, Howard and Pearl, harbor dark desires and violent impulses. As night falls, the group becomes prey to their twisted hosts. What begins as a film about youthful ambition becomes a bloody exploration of aging, sexuality, and repression. With graphic kills, vintage slasher aesthetics, and Mia Goth in dual roles, X feels like both a homage to classics like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a fresh take on modern horror. At number 3, Hush. This taut thriller follows Maddie, a deaf-mute writer living alone in a remote cabin. One night, a masked killer appears at her window, realizing she can't hear him. What follows is a terrifying cat-and-mouse game, as Maddie must rely on her intelligence and resilience to survive. Without sound, the film amplifies every moment of tension, whether it's Maddie trying to outsmart the killer or desperately fighting back. It's a slasher with a unique twist that proves silence can be just as terrifying as screams. At number 2, Pearl. Set in 1918, this movie tells the twisted origin story of Pearl, a lonely young woman trapped on her family's isolated Texas farm. She dreams of stardom, but is held back by her strict, paralyzed father and domineering mother. As her dreams of becoming a star collide with the harsh reality of her life, Pearl's frustration transforms into a violent, psychotic break. With Mia Goth's mesmerizing performance, especially her haunting monologue and chilling smile, Pearl is less about jump scares and more about slowly unraveling madness. It's a slasher that blends Technicolor beauty with grotesque violence, creating a horror masterpiece. At number 1, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. This horror comedy flips the slasher genre upside down. Tucker and Dale are two kind-hearted country guys who just want to fix up their cabin in the woods. But when a group of college students mistake them for murderous hillbillies, chaos ensues. Every attempt Tucker and Dale make to help is misinterpreted, leading to increasingly bloody accidents. Instead of a killer stalking victims, the victims practically destroy themselves through paranoia. It's a cult classic that asks, what if the scary rednecks were actually the good guys? The movie cleverly satirizes slasher tropes while delivering plenty of gore, humor, and heart. And there you have it, the 10 modern slashers that left us breathless, terrified, and always looking over our from masked killers lurking in the shadows to twisted minds hiding in plain sight. These films prove that the slasher will never die. But the question is, which one still haunts you the most? Tell us in the comments below, if you dare. If you enjoyed this countdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling top 10 from the darkest corners of Hollywood. Until next time, stay safe, stay awake, and remember, someone might already be watching you.